So nach, so nach, oh Yarutz Avdach, Kimo Ayal Yishtachave, El Muhadarach, oh Yerav Lo Yedidutach, Minofetu. V'chol Yay hay 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 yay hay 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 Haduna ezi ha'olam nafshi cholat ahavatach oh ana ilna rifana la beharo noam zivach oh atid chazer tirapeh hayta lach shivchat olam yay hay 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 yay yay hay hay yay hay hay yay hay Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom, Carl. I love that Rabbi Josh Warshawski came to visit us now 3-4 months ago, and you have woven in so many of his melodies and just kind of let that visit be a start to new CBI tunes. It's gorgeous. It's great.
Thanks to Cantor Amy. Thanks to Cantor Amy for curating that and bringing him in and making him our teacher that ShabbatHOME, and I learned so much from him. And
thanks to Cantor Amy for everything.
Yeah.
We love you. Hope you're having a good Shabbos dinner. Welcome everybody who is joining us. I hope that this little Shabbos service is an opportunity for you to take a deep breath, to let your shoulders down a little bit, to begin to invite in the peace of Shabbat. We're gonna sing together a little bit and just have a few words. This is a way of setting the stage, of getting us to the place that we need to go. And tonight in particular, I want to invite a special kavanah, a special intention. Carl, you were sharing with me just before the service started that this is your father's yard site. And there's a deep custom of dedicating learning, of dedicating prayer in somebody's memory as a way of continuing to make their soul present in the world. Would you be willing, Carl, to share just a little bit about your dad's soul, about who he was in the world and who he still is for you, so that we can have the service in his honor tonight?
That's beautiful. Thank you for giving me that space. Yeah, Milt Cedar, he was a proud man. He was a great provider. He was a smart guy. Graduated from NYU in the class of 37 and served his country proudly in World War II, stationed in Italy, the Army Air Corps, as a lieutenant, communications officer. He was proud of that. I'm still proud of that. And he was an entrepreneur, and he came back from the war and he worked. He was a hardworking guy, and ultimately the owner and proprietor of Cedars Hardware on Fire Island. And that's where I grew up. And I worked in that store for him for many years, from when I was 12. He bought the store just before my bar mitzvah. And we spent a lot of time together in that store. Some of it with lots of tension. As you can imagine, working for your dad could bring about. But there were a lot of laughs. And he was supportive of my music career. And above all, he was an incredible grandfather that didn't get to do it long enough. He was here for Andrew's bar mitzvah, but passed just before David's bar mitzvah. But he lived to be 94 years old. Was married to my mom for 50 some odd years. And I think of him every single day.
Sounds like a remarkable and good man, and may the best parts of him continue to live in you and in your voice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, when you look in the dictionary under dad joke,
Okay,
there's
so
a
we know where
picture
you
of
get it.
him, and then right under that picture of him, there's a picture of me. So
There you go.
that continues.
So we'll dedicate this Kabbalat Shabbat davening in honor of your dad. May his memory be a blessing. We'll start with the Chutna Renana and page 11 of verse 4.
Litzur Yesheinu Nikama Fana Betoda Bezmirod Nuria Halo Lechu Niranina La Donai Lechu Niranina La Donai Navia Litzur Yesheinu Nikama Fana Betoda Naria Litzur Yesheinu Nikama Fana Betoda Bezmirod Nuria Lo Bezmirod Nuria Lo Bezmirod Navia Lo Arba'im Shana
Arba'im Shana
Akut Bidor
Akud Bedor
Vahomar
Va'omar
Amto Elevav Hem
Amdu Elevav Hem
Rahim Lo Yadu
Vehem Lo Yadu
Derachai
Derachai
Asher Nishbati V'api Im Yevohun El Menuchati Shiru Adonai Shir Chadash Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Adonai Bachu Shemo Basru Miyom Liyom Yeshurato Sapru Vagoyim Kevodo Bechol Ha'amim Niflotav Ki Umahula no no rahu Al kol Elohim Kikol Elohim Hamim Elilim Adonai Shamayim Asa Hod v'hadar Lefanav Ozeh Tiferet Behemitacho Avula Adonai Mishpachot Amim Avula Adonai Kavod v'ohavu l'Adonai Kivod Shemo Zeu Mincha Uvo L'chatzrotav Ya'aloz Tzadai V'chol asher bo Ya'aloz Tzadai Ay, 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 ay Az Yiranenu Kol Atzeya Az Yiranenu Kol Atzeya Az Yiranenu Kol Atzeya Az Yiranenu Kol Atzeya Ya'aloz Tzadai V'chol asher bo Ya'aloz Tzadai Ay, 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 ay Kiv Lifnei Adonai Kiva Kiva lishpot haaretz Yishpot tevel b'tzedek V'yamim b'emunato Psalm 97 says, light is sown for the righteous, and for the upright of heart, gladness. So let's be glad. O Zarua Latzadik Ulishre Lev Simcha O Zarua Latzadik Ulishre Lev Simcha O Zarua Latzadik Ulishre Lev Simcha Ulishre Lev Simcha O Zarua Latzadik Ulishre Lev Ulishre Simcha O Zarua Latzadik Ulishre Simcha O Zarua Latzadik Ulishre Simcha Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai Hodu l'zecher kodsho A psalm for each day of the week. Let's go to our Thursday psalm. Romim Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu Kodsho Romim Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu Kodsho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romim Ki Kadosh Adonai Elohim Romim Adonai Elohim Shtachavu Le'hakodsho Romim Adonai Elohim V'shtachavu Le'hakodsho Ki Kadosh Adonai Elohim Romim Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu
start into Psalm 29. That's the Friday Psalm. And what I love in this Psalm is the pivot at the very end that transitions us out of the week and into Shabbat. The Friday Psalm, Psalm 29, is all of these images of strength and power. God is to be found in the smashing of the rocks and in the shattering of the trees and in the booming of the thunder. God is to be found in all of these symbols of incredible strength. And the second to last line of the psalm is Adonai oz le'amo yitin. God gives strength to us. But that's not where the psalm ends. The psalm ends with one additional line that almost feels tacked on at the end. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. But God blesses us with peace. Like the whole psalm is a psalm to strength, to the stuff that we need to get through the 6 work days. But the button on the end, the coda to the psalm, is all of that is necessary, but it's not in the language of bracha. It's not in the language of blessing. The blessing is a blessing of shalom, of peace, of wholeness, of being in a place where there doesn't need to be any smashing and bashing in order to demonstrate power, where we can exist in harmony with the world and in reconciliation and reconnection with each other and with God. So we'll sing through Psalm 29. It's traditional if you're able to stand during this psalm. We don't really fit in our Zoom screen so much if we stand, but if you're able to stand up wherever you are, and to be kind of using this as a meditation on what does it take to get through the work week? What's the strength it takes to get through the work week? And how can we move out of that space of necessary strength and into a space of equally necessary peace? Page 21.
מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בני אלי, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, כל אדוני על המים, הכבוד הרים אדוני על מים, רבים, כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני ארזי המנום, ויקידם כמו עגל לבנון, וסיריון כמו בן רימים, כמו בן רימים. כל אדוני חוצה לעבודש, כל אדוני יחיר מדבר, יחיר אדוני מבהר קדש, כל אדוני חולה הילוד, ויחשוב ירוד, היכלו כולו אומר כבוד, כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני למה בו ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יבורך את עמו בשלום.
Continue that progression out of the work week and into the day of reflection and restoration. We continue to invite that Shabbat peace to be with us with L'Chadodi, where we imagine her personified as a bride, as a lover, as a queen, as the one we've been waiting for all week long, who, when she arrives, the whole world just gets better. So let's sing a song to Shabbat and welcome her to be among us.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נעשוכה, סוף מעשה מחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך הוא עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך הפכה, רב לך שבט באמת הבכה, והוא יחמו עלייך חמלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. You continue with the last 3 verses. שבת נקבלה, והיו למשיסה שובו סייך ורחקו, כל מבולייך יסיס עולייך אלוהי, כי ימסוס קטן תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי, אל יריש בן פרצי ונשמחה נגילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
So beautiful. It's such a beautiful melody.
Joshua
So
Shelsky.
beautiful song. We're on page 27. There's more Shirley Om Shabbat, Toldo God Ladonai, Lizana Lashem Bariyon. It's good to say thank you to God. It's good to be grateful.
Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, צדיק התמה יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני, חצרות אלוהינו יפריחו, עוד ינבו בשיבה, דשנים רעננים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולא עוולתה בו, עדותיך נאמנו מאוד, לביתך נא בקודש אדוני, לאורך
Lovely. Lovely, lovely.
Thanks, Rabbi.
In a few minutes, we'll have a prayer for healing and an opportunity to say Kaddish for Carl's dad and for all of those who we're holding in our hearts. Before we do, I want to say a few encouraging words about guilt. At our last CBI B'nai Mitzvah, which was a triplet, amazing B'nai Mitzvah, one of the bar mitzvahs got up and said something in his drash about, well, this may just be the Jewish guilt in me talking. When he sat back down, I said, it was a great drash, but who told you, Parker, that Jewish guilt was bad? Jewish guilt is what's kept our people alive. Jewish guilt is what's kept our people focused on being better year after year for thousands of years. So I want to just speak in praise of a little bit of Jewish guilt tonight as we come into the Shabbat. The Torah portion that we read tomorrow morning in Synagogue Kitisa tells the story of the golden calf. It tells the story that in the moment when God and Moses are talking on the mountain, the moment that we have just witnessed the splitting of the sea and the humbling of Egypt and all of that, even in that moment, our ancestors lose faith and they turn to golden cow figure, how ridiculous, and begin to worship it, even literally as God is booming over their heads at the mountaintop. And what's most remarkable to me about this story isn't that we lose faith. what's most remarkable to me about this story is that we continue to tell the story. You would think that this would be a story that everybody would want to leave out of the book. It would make for a better narrative, right? If the narrative was the Jewish people left Egypt amidst signs and wonders, walked through a split sea, received the Torah at the Ten Commandments, and continued on with our journey. But to interrupt that whole heroic story with an admission of communal guilt, with an admission of human frailty, breaks the heroic nature of the story in some significant ways, and makes our ancestors no longer into the great giants who began our people, but into frail and easily frightened escaped slaves, camped out in a desert and entirely unsure if they were going to make it to the next day, entirely unsure if this God was going to abandon them or turn on them. And we tell the story anyway. We tell the story even though it's not flattering. We tell the story even though it doesn't portray our origins in the most glorious and heroic light, because it's important to be honest about who we are. Because it's important to be honest that we are all frail, that we are all afraid, that we all screw up sometimes in ways small and big, and that admitting to that, owning up to that, retelling the story of that, knowing that we can very easily lose our way, and so we need to be extra cautious and extra careful, is really essential. The Midrash says there is no real love without a measure of tochacha. There is no real love without a measure of rebuke. And that means toward other people that it's not real love to say to your partner, you are perfect, we never fight, we never disagree. That's not real love. Real love contains within it some conflict, because it contains within it deep investment. And anything with deep investment comes with conflict. And real love centered inward. We're supposed to love ourselves. Remember, the commandment is love your neighbor as you love yourself. That means we're supposed to love ourselves. But that also comes with some measure of tochacha, some measure of tochacha pointed inward. We're supposed to love ourselves, but we're also supposed to hold ourselves accountable. We're not supposed to gloss over the ways in which we drop the ball. We're supposed to own up to them. We're even perhaps supposed to hang on to those stories and continue to pass them down. I think that that's really, really important. And I think that it's really brave of our tradition to be willing to say our ancestors weren't perfect and neither are we. And that true love for each other and true love for ourselves contains within it a recognition that nobody is perfect, that I and you and we are not perfect. And that in the acknowledgement of that, we actually find the strength to, if not be perfect, then at least to be better. And so as we're doing this service that wraps up the week and that moves us into Shabbat, and I always encourage us in these services to think about what we're grateful for from the week that was past, what our moments of triumph or our moments of blessing. It's actually also an important spiritual exercise at the start of Shabbat to review and say, what were the places that we stumbled? What are the things that we could have done better in the past week? What are the things that we're committing to doing better in the future? To owning up to our stuff, to ourselves most of all, so that each week can be a little bit more of a progression toward living the kind of lives that we're ultimately called to live. I love that our Torah contains this story and that it is brave. And I love that it invites me and us to be brave. And I just say back to that wonderful bar mitzvah kid, don't poo-poo Jewish guilt. A little bit, not taken to extremes, not taken to a place of paralyzing or taken to a place in which we see ourselves as nothing at all, but to see ourselves honestly as we are, which is beautiful and broken, strong and also capable of weakness. If we see ourselves clearly, then we can grow toward the light. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We'll offer a prayer for healing. Mishaberach, if you are thinking of somebody who is in need of a little bit of extra love and prayer this Shabbat, or if you yourself are in need of a little bit of extra love and prayer, I invite you to draw that to mind so we can collectively pray for all of our uplift.
Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yivarech V'Yirapeh Et HaCholim. Avraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yivarech V'Yirapeh Et HaCholim Hu Yivarech V'Yirapeh Et HaCholim.
May all of those we love find the healing that we pray for when we say it together. Amen.
Amen.
We also take an opportunity to give voice to memory, to remember those who are no longer with us, to honor Carl, your dad, on his yard site, to think about in our community the Urich and Cowan family who just came out of Shiva for Nikki, to think about in our community JJ Mice, who lost his mom this week, and Becky Bridger, who lost her father this week. Think about all of those people who we continue to love, even though they no longer are on this side of the world, but who we continue to feel connected to. Kaddish is a testimony that people die, but love doesn't. So please join with me. Yikadal, Yikadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'yalma, Divrach, Yirutei, V'yamliach Malchutei, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, V'agala U'bizman Kariv, V'yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah V'rach, Le'olam Omei Almaya, Yitbarach, Yishtabach, V'yipa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei D'Kudesha, B'richu. Le'ilah min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, gamiran v'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'kol Yisrael, v'yimru.
Amen.
Thank you all so much for joining us for Shabbat. I see that Carl, your buddy Jack Curtis, is back, who joined us the last time we led a service together. Jack, welcome back. And
Yankeleh, Shabbat Shalom.
all of our CBI members and friends from afar who are together with us. We'll close out this service with Shalom Aleichem, inviting the angels, a ham-handed segue, but a segue anyway. Make sure to invite you. If you have not yet registered, there may still be 1 or 2 places left for the gala this weekend. We have more than 200 people coming to celebrate. the great Phyllis Abrams and our CBI community. So I'm looking forward to seeing so many of you there.
And
Shabbat shalom. And
tomorrow morning we have Yismach.
tomorrow morning we daven all together. Cantor Amy, Carl, myself. Next day we have a gala. Always something happening at CBI.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShavim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Borechem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom. Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Mileshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai-rai-rai, yai-rai-rai. Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat shalom, Carl. And I just saw that Agi Gurek is with us and just wanting to send you a very, very special hug and a lot of love to you and to your whole family.
You bet.
Shabbat shalom to all. See you tomorrow.